Hey guys, it's Sarah here with you for another fun Maker Monday session. I'm super excited about this activity. We're going to make Play-Doh volcanoes and then we're going to make them erupt. Now this week I've been reading a lot about Chemical Chaos, this book is called, by Horrible Science, and it details all of the fun chemical reactions that you can make just using items found around your house. And there are two things that I love about this activity, guys. Number one, it's using science, and number two, it's making a huge mess, which is always a lot of fun. So the first thing that we're going to do is make our Play-Doh. So the ingredients that you will need to make our Play-Doh are 1 cup of flour, you want half a cup of salt, half a cup of water, and 1 tablespoon of oil. We're also going to use some food colouring, so I'm going to make my volcano a nice fiery red today, but you can use whatever colour you have around the house. And then you'll also need an empty jar, and that's going to form the basis of the structure of our volcano. So I've just used an empty peanut butter jar. You can use whatever you have around the house, or if you don't have a jar, you can use a mug or a cup. All right, and you might also need some gloves if you want to wear some gloves if you're going to use food colouring to protect your hands. We're going to grab a mixing bowl to mix all of our ingredients into. And as I said, this can get very messy. You need a container or a spill tray to catch all of that lava once our volcano erupts. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, guys, is grab our mixing bowl and glove up. So make sure you've got your gloves on. We're going to start by mixing the dry ingredients. So that's the 1 cup of flour into the bowl. Add to that our half cup of salt. Then we can add our tablespoon of oil. So we've got our 1 tablespoon of oil. And now we're going to grab our 1 cup of water, but we're just going to add that a little bit at a time so that we don't end up with a mixture that's too wet. So we'll take our water and just add about that much, and then we're going to give it a stir. And you'll see that water start to mix its way around our dry ingredients. I think we need a little bit more, so let's add a little bit more. And we'll give that a stir. You can also get your fingers into the mixture and have a feel whether it's the right consistency. It's also really fun to play with. I think mine needs a little bit more water, so I'm going to add that now. And keep on mixing together until it forms a nice dough. All right, guys, so I've got my dough. As you can see, it's a beautiful Play-Doh consistency, and now I've got my drip tray ready for the mess. So what I'm going to do with my volcano is I'm going to imagine that my volcano is very fiery and I'm going to dye it red. So to do that, I'm just going to make a hole in it with my gloved hands, and then I'm going to drop some food colouring in it, some red food colouring, just a small amount. And then I'm going to use my fingers to work the food colouring through the dough. So I'm going to do this, guys, and once it's finished, we'll come back and make the lava. So we are ready to construct our volcano. So we're going to take our dough and we're going to flatten it out and roll it out. Now, if you've got a rolling pin at home, you can use that to roll it out, but I don't have one of those, so I'm just going to use my hands to push it out like this. You can also, if you've got time, you could make some more dough and use different colours. So you could make some green Play-Doh, and you could build some Play-Doh trees to have around your volcano. If you've got any toy dinosaurs or Lego green blocks or garden scenery, you could also stick those on the bottom and make a complete scene around your volcano for when it erupts. Okay, so I think my dough is flattened out pretty good. So I'm going to take my empty jar. I might just roll it along the dough one more time just to get it nice and flattened out. And then I'm going to use my jar and place it on the dough like this and just roll it up with the dough so that the dough sticks onto the sides of my jar like this, and push it all the way around, and then we can stand it up and stick it to the base of our tray, fold in all of these bits of volcano as well. You could also make some darker red Play-Doh and maybe stick it to the top so that it looks like excess lava dripping down the sides. You can really be as creative as you'd like, guys. But for mine, I'm just going to have this beautiful red volcano, which has turned out a little bit pink actually, but that's okay. We're going to have some really deep red lava coming out. So there is my volcano. Now it's time for the exciting bit. We're going to make our lava to make our volcano erupt. So what we need for the lava, the first thing that we're going to add is some bicarb soda. So I've got half a cup here of bicarb soda. I'm just going to use my spoon to spoon that into our volcano. Oops, that's all right. I might just tip that in to our volcano. I did tell you guys this was going to get messy. I'm improving it right now. All right, so in goes our bicarb soda. Then we're going to add half a cup of water. Now you can use a funnel if you have one at home to help you get that into the jar. It can be a little bit tricky. Perfect. I'm going to add a few drops of my red food colouring for our lava. And the last step we're going to add is 1 teaspoon of our dishwashing liquid to give it some extra bubbles. So let's measure that out. And we're going to tip that in, and then we're just going to give it a stir to combine all of those ingredients. And I can see, I don't know if you can see, but that is a beautiful, vibrant red lava. So give it a nice stir until it's all combined. And now we are ready for our eruption. So the last thing that we're going to add, which is going to create our eruption, is our vinegar. And I've got half a cup of vinegar. So I'm going to add that now to my volcano, and you can watch and see what happens. Should we count down? 3, 2, 1. And you can see all of those bubbles. We'll put some more in. Wow, look at that volcano erupting. So our bicarb soda and our vinegar are combining to form a chemical reaction. And we used the dishwashing liquid, and that gave us all of those beautiful bubbles. Very cool. That's all from me today, guys. Thanks for joining me for Make a Monday, and we'll see you next week.